All right, welcome back to another episode of Two Fans, 12 Rings. Jeff here. Brad, how are you today?
I am doing pretty good today. Battling through a little bit of a throat bug here after the last weekend, rolling around in all that mud during the volleyball tournament. Has its recovery time, but I'm enjoying myself, having a good time. Football is officially here.
Football is officially here. We are done with NFL preseason games. Completely done. The next time we see a team trot out of the tunnel, it will be the reigning Super Bowl champions versus the Baltimore Ravens. Couldn't be more excited.
Very exciting.
We got a little bit of dose of college football, and number 10 Florida State goes down in Ireland.
Yeah.
They're still unbeaten in America, so I don't know if that matters or not. But there was a couple of years ago where I think it was Northwestern and Nebraska had played, and Northwestern lost every single game except for the Ireland one or something like that. And everyone's like, they're undefeated outside of America.
Yeah. For Northwestern.
Anyways, we have, much like the last couple of pods, we have some really good football teams here. Buccaneers, Texans, Packers, Bills, all teams that made the playoffs. All teams that won at least one playoff game. Almost the complete, utter opposite of what we dealt with last week, where teams were making the playoffs but losing their first round game. Excited to get started, and I'm good if you're good.
Yeah. Well, we can go and start with the Bucks. Some additions in the offseason. Safety Jordan Whitehead. They got a couple interior offensive linemen. They lose Shaq Barrett, Devin White, and Carlton Davis, all in defense. We knew that post-Brady era there was going to be some money that was going to have to fall off or be relocated, and those are some of the players gone. They draft Graham Barton, big-time interior lineman from Duke. Edge rusher Chris Braswell from Bama. Ty Smith and Jalen McMillan, safety from Georgia, and a down-the-field threat at wide receiver from Washington. They also got Bucky Irving. May have made some deep fantasy picks this weekend.
Yeah, they went 9-8 last year. They beat the Eagles 32-9 in the playoffs, but then they lost the Lions 23-31. Kind of fell short. They did have 3 Pro Bowlers. You talked about the adds and the subtractions. This is team still trying to find their way in what some people believe to be a weaker division that has kind of improved. I think that's fair to say, at least definitely with the Falcons. They being 9-8, they weren't exactly a world beater, but they did beat the Eagles in their playoff game at home. The Bucks have been, over the last 4-ish years, a pretty solid team. They've won more games than they've lost. They've made the playoffs, obviously with Brady there and now Baker. I think they like their QB situation. They did give Baker a 3-year extension this offseason. So
yeah, I just like Baker's had a career resurrection, if you will. I never thought he was bad at the Browns, but he leaves there. He's with the Panthers for one off season. Comes to the Buccaneers. It'll be interesting to see again. Baker cannot avoid just having a new offensive coordinator, it seems like every season of his entire career with Callahan leaving. The running backs, though, Rashad White, Bucky Irving, that seems to be good. The O-line's fantastic. Tristan Wirfs, Cody Malk. They've had some good O-lines. Cade Otton always seems to have 2 or 3 games where he pops off. Mike Evans, Chris Godwin, though. Those 2 guys are always going to be the story. It'll be interesting to see how their defense comes through. Antoine Winfield gets the big contract at safety as he should, but you lose Sean Murphy-Bunting 2 seasons ago. You lose Carlton Davis this offseason. Devin White and Shaq Barrett leaving the front 7. Be interesting to see how many guys step up in those new positions to see if their defense can't complement their offense. But like you said, the Panthers are going to be better. I mean, they only won 2 games last year. I'm not saying they're going to be world beaters, but they'll be better. The Falcons got better. Derek Carr in his 2nd season, Saints could be better. I mean, this whole division, I don't think will be so bad. We already broke down the other 3 teams, so it's all out in front of the Bucks. This division's wide open. Nobody can predict this division. It'll be interesting to see how it plays out.
Yeah. I'm ready to tackle their schedule.
All right. Just I'd like to do a brief look at it real quick, try and pick up some stuff before we get going. Okay, you said they were 9-8 last season.
They were.
Week 1, I have a feeling this could be an NFC wild card matchup.
Ooh.
Not in terms of in the playoffs, I mean potentially, but the winner of this could hold tiebreakers on potentially getting a wild card spot. They host the Commanders week 1. If the Commanders win this game, I feel like it could really flip the narrative for a lot of people on what the potential could be for them going forward. I think a lot of people would take the Bucs to just win this game at home, which I think I'm going to do.
Yeah, that's actually what I also have, dating back from when we did Washington's breakdown.
I do think there's a lot of people that are like, Jaden Daniels is fun. We'll see Cliff Kingsbury, the new head coach, Dan Quinn. That's actually a pretty fun game, 4:25 window. Week 2 on the road against the Lions.
Week 2 on the low road against the Lions. Haven't done a Lions breakdown yet. They'll be next week. On the road at the Lions, I feel like the Lions win that game, so I'm going to give a loss here to the Bucs.
I like that as well. Back-to-back home spot here. It starts against the Broncos.
You know, I have really liked what I've seen from Drew Lock. I do think it's going to take some time once defenses kind of turn up a little bit.
Bo Nix, I knew what you meant. Just
What'd I say?
Drew Lock.
Sorry, Bo Nix.
Yep.
This is going to be a win for the Buccaneers.
I'm gonna give them a win too. Now this is they're 2-1. We each have them 2-1. They begin a really, really tough 7-week stretch here. So they stay at home, the Philadelphia Eagles.
We just did that one. That feels very Eagles to me. This is week 4.
Yeah, you said Eagles redemption, and I gave the Eagles a loss here because they've played Tampa poorly, and I couldn't give the Eagles every win. I'll try and stay true to that. I'll give them a loss here, or a win here. I meant to do. Sorry. Then short week, Thursday night football at the Atlanta Falcons.
Yeah, Atlanta's going to really be a tough out.
Kirk Cousins primetime.
Yeah, this is week 5. I have the Falcons winning that. We're going to stay consistent with that.
I agree. Back-to-back road spot. They're at the New Orleans Saints the following week.
At the New Orleans Saints.
Now remember, this is 10-on-10 football. Mike Evans and Marshawn Lattimore out of the game. 10-on-10 football here.
Yeah, I think we did the Saints when I was in Florida, so I don't have those notes. But we're gonna go Bucks.
I'm gonna keep the Saints at home, winning the home game. So they've played Eagles, Falcons, Saints. Now they're back home Monday Night Football against the Ravens.
Loss.
The Ravens there. After the Ravens, short week again because they play Monday night, but they are now home against the Falcons.
Loss. Falcons are going to sweep them. That's going to be huge in this division race.
Following the Falcons, it's another long week. So they play Thursday night, then Sunday, Monday night, then Sunday, and now they're playing Monday night again at the Kansas City Chiefs.
Loss.
I think that's a loss as well. And then they are home Sunday, November 10th against the 49ers.
Loss. So two things.
Eagles.
Real quick. Week 8, they were playing the Falcons. I actually gave them a win against the Falcons, and with this nasty schedule coming up, I am going to give the Bucs the win going into that. stay consistent with what I had, and knowing that that's a must win for them.
Yeah, so they have 7 games there, 3 on the road, 4 at home, 3 in prime time, and it's 3 divisional games and then Eagles, Ravens, Chiefs, 49ers outside of division games. So it's tough, but they get a bye week after the Niners, which is huge. You're usually ready to give an auto loss to people following the Niners.
Yeah.
They get a bye. How? Out of the bye. At the Giants, at the Panthers, hosting the Raiders.
I like them to win every one of those.
So do I, and that's kind of why I said it the way I did.
Week 13 is the Giants, right?
Week 13 is the Panthers.
Week 13 is the Panthers. Okay. Yeah, we're good here. And then the Raiders, I don't have theirs. I'm going to give them the win against the Raiders.
Okay. Now they have 5 road games out of the bye, or 4 road games out of the bye in 5 games. So it's at the Giants, at Panthers, home against Raiders, and then they're at the Chargers, at the Cowboys.
So week 15 is what?
Chargers.
So loss, I'm pretty sure. That's got to be.
I have them splitting against the Chargers Cowboys. I don't know which one they win, which one they lose. But
I have them losing both.
Gotcha. I'll have them getting one of them.
Cowboys were last week. That's week 16. I just try to stay so consistent with what we're doing.
And that's another primetime game. Sunday night.
Yeah, I have them winning, so that's a loss for the Buccaneers. Cowboys win there. 17-18, these are divisions. They got at least one with the Panthers.
Home Panthers, home Saints.
Win and sweeping the Saints. So double wins to end the season. Really, they end the season after the bye 5-2 for me.
1, 2, 3.
They go 9-8.
I have them going 6-1 off of the bye to finish 9-8. The beginning I was a little bit more harsh on that stretch before the bye, but yeah, I mean 9-8 back-to-back seasons. That's kind of. I feel like their defense got worse. They lost their offensive coordinator. Mike Evans is getting older.
Yeah, I don't have my Saints picks. I'm half tempted to have them split with the Saints and put them at 8-9.
I mean, it's
we're gonna do that. We're gonna give them a loss week 18. We're gonna have them split with the Saints. That puts them at 8-9, just a hair under where they were last year. Yeah.
What do you think their win-loss is?
6.5.
It's 7.5.
Wow. Okay, so I adjusted it properly.
Division plus 290, make playoffs plus 160, miss minus 200, Super Bowl plus 6,500.
Yeah.
Anything else you got for the Bucks?
No, I mean the division is still winnable for them. They still have some really, really good players. They've lost some players too, obviously, from that Super Bowl team, and I think they've done a pretty good job of kind of holding this roster together despite some of the limitations they've had. But an 8-win season is probably not what they want to hear, but it's pretty realistic in my opinion. I do believe the Falcons win this division.
Yeah, I like the Falcons probably to win the division as well.
Texans?
Houston.
Here we go. Texans were 10-7 last year. They got into the playoffs hosting the Browns, and they beat the brakes off them 45-14. The following week, they got humbled. Kind of a rookie team going up against a veteran team. They lost at the Ravens 34-10. This team had 3 Pro Bowlers. They did something that's really not done very often, where they have a top 3 pick and they traded in to get a second top 3 pick and they went and got a cornerstone quarterback, franchise quarterback, if you will, and C.J. Stroud, and then a franchise-changing defensive player, Will Anderson Jr., and it's catapulted them. Later in the draft, they listened to their brand-new rookie quarterback to draft Tank Dell. They brought him in, and he hit. And then they went into this offseason. I'll let you take that away.
Yeah, in the offseason, forgive me if I miss anything because they did a lot of movement both sides of the ball. Devin Singletary, Jonathan Grenard, Sheldon Rankins, Malik Collins, George Fant, Denzel Perryman, Blake Cashman, Steven Nelson, Jerry Hughes, all out the door. Foley Fadukasi, CJ Henderson, Jeff Okuda, Aziz Al-Shahir, Mario Edwards, Danico Autry, Daniil Hunter, Joe Mixon, Stephon Diggs, all in the door. Cornerback from Georgia, Kamari Lassiter. Tackle from Notre Dame, Blake Fisher. Safety from USC, Kalen Bullock. Cade Stover, tight end, Ohio State. They go on in the 6th and 7th round to get linebacker, running back, edge, D-tackle, offensive tackle. So they kind of put a bunch of stuff everywhere, but the most notable, Joe Mixon, Stephon Diggs, are added to this offense. What did you think about those moves?
Yeah, I just think that this is a team that already kind of understands what they are. Completely surrounds the quarterback with more weapons, going out and getting Stephon Diggs, a veteran wide receiver. Joe Mixon was all but cut by the Bengals. Turns out the Texans were interested in him. They traded him a late-round pick, got Joe Mixon in the building, signed him to a contract extension. So now they have – and Joe Mixon was a captain with the Bengals for years. So they're getting a veteran leader in the locker room, somebody that's ready to come in and kind of take the goal line carries and be that guy. Daniil Hunter, a physical pass rusher to kind of add what they already got next to Will Anderson, sorry. I just think that this is it's hard not to pick them in a lot of games. The only thing they're going to have going for them as far as like the negatives is they are still just kind of very young. They do have a defensive head coach. But I do believe that this team, like the stock is heading up.
Yeah, I mean, you hit on all the notes. You talk about C.J. Stroud, Joe Mixon with Damian Pierce behind him, Stephon Diggs, Nico Collins, Tank Dell with Robert Woods and John Mechie III behind him, Dalton Schultz, Cade Stover at tight end. They have one of the best left tackles in the league, Laramie Tunsil. Opposite side of the line, Shaq Mason at guard is a very good player. Kenyon Green, Titus Howard. I mean, they really lack nothing on offense. They can beat you any which way. And, you know, they play in Houston. They're not going to have too many bad weather games. Will Anderson, Daniil Hunter, get after the quarterback. So, again, they have a quarterback. They protect theirs. They get yours. It's going to win you a lot of games. Derek Stingley Jr. took a lot of flack for being taken over Sauce Gardner. Although I would go with Sauce Gardner at this point as the guy who should have been. Stingley is no pushover. He's a very, very good corner.
Some people still double down and say he's better than Sauce right now.
Yeah, you probably wouldn't take their opinion too much further after that if they're still taking Stingley over Sauce. Sauce is one of the 2 best corners in the league.
Dude, Stingley's been pretty stinking good.
Yeah, he can be like 6th, 5th. He's a great – I'm not saying he's bad. You take 2 tests, you get a 98 and a 95. 95 is not a bad score, but
yeah,
98 better. Jimmy Ward at the back end, veteran piece. Jeff Okuda, a really highly touted talent that just has not worked out in the NFL. Could he put it together? Don't know, but they have big pieces in the right spots. And yeah, I mean, Bilo Saha, D'Amico Ryans has been fantastic.
Yeah. Let's see where they lose games and where they win games, shall we?
Yeah, did lose to Caleb Williams though in the Hall of Fame game, so I don't know.
That's it.
I don't think he's ever played though.
He didn't. He didn't.
All right, let's get into it.
You know what? Real quick, random question. 5 years from now, who's better, Caleb or CJ?
Wow. Caleb.
Who's in the better situation today?
I think I'm going to factor in weather and head coach, I would say CJ Stroud. Weather and head coach. They both have tremendous weapons. I think they both have good offensive linemen. The best offensive lineman on either of those teams is Laramie Tunsil. I think you could argue the best receiver on any of those teams is Stephon Diggs. I think many people would say Joe Mixon's better than DeAndre Swift. If they said, hey, you're starting from scratch, you want D'Amico Ryans or Matt Eberflus? I think, do you want Soldier Field, the Windy City, or do you want a dome in Houston? So I would say CJ, but that does not mean Caleb's in a bad situation by any means. And again, let's say Caleb is better than CJ Stroud. That doesn't mean CJ Stroud's not the fifth best quarterback in the league. I think highly of Caleb.
Yeah.
All right. Week 1, divisional matchup at the Colts.
Win.
The more I watch the Colts, the more I'm out on them.
More you're out on them, huh?
Yeah, Anthony Richardson's booty. Now, listen, I think he's a great fantasy player. He'll get you points, but yeah, Week 2. There it is. Sunday Night Football. CJ Stroud versus Caleb Williams.
Oh, that's fantastic.
September 15th on Peacock and NBC.
That's a great week 2. That's week 2?
CJ Stroud, Caleb Williams.
Yeah, I have the Texans winning that game.
It's in Houston. I'm going to have them winning the game too. Can't wait to bet the Bears plus 5.5 though on Sunday night and lay in my bed and watch it.
There you go.
At the Minnesota Vikings.
I mean, I predicted the Vikings to win 10 games. That's with JJ playing. I'd
With
regret
Sam, you're
them.
11.
Yeah, I'm regressing them at least 3 at this point. They're probably 7 and 10 now. I still think the Vikings are disgustingly good on offense, regardless of who's quarterback. But I'm going to give the Texans the W here to start 3-0.
Yeah, I have them 3-0 as well. And now, 1 o'clock, both of them, back-to-back home games. I'm going to put them at 1-1 here, but it's Jaguars-Bills. I'm going to have them losing 1 and winning 1. I don't know which one, but...
Well, which one's first, Jags?
Jacksonville, then Buffalo.
They're going to beat Jacksonville, and then they're going to lose to Buffalo in a humbling game where they think they're one of the top teams, and they're not there.
I actually have the reverse. I have them coming home, slipping up against Jacksonville, and then beating the Bills on a bounce-back spot.
Josh Allen is going to destroy the team that Stephon Diggs went to.
Well, I look at the Texans defense versus Josh with limited receivers, unless Keon's a dog. For Stephon Diggs' team to do that, and then name the corner stopping Diggs on the Bills. I think this is a Stephon Diggs anytime touchdown Texans money line, little 2-leg parlay there. Stephon's getting a tud. Texans are winning. Mark it down. Then 1 o'clock again, back-to-back road spot at Patriots, at Packers.
They're going to beat the Patriots. What did I put for the Packers? We just did that pod. Let me take a quick gander. What week is this?
We haven't done the Packers yet. We're about to.
They're next. At Packers?
At Packers. Back-to-back road spot. They're the second game.
They're going to beat the Packers, too.
Nah.
Yeah.
Super Bowl rematch right here.
Football team.
Just kidding. I'm just kidding. Oh, gosh. I know you're excited to break down the Packers. I'm just getting you fired up.
No, I just think that they're a hair overrated.
That's okay.
Like, they won 9 games last year. Can we remember that?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
I think everyone's they just have that 40-point ass whooping against the Cowboys in their head.
They do.
Yeah.
And they think they're God because of it. Like, let's settle down.
I feel like the media's hyping up more than the Packers are, like, in the media hyping themselves up.
No, that's fair. That's fair.
Like, I don't see, like, guys being like, we're there. We're here now. It's not the Lions division. It's ours. It's like they're just at practice while the people on the mics are like, Jordan loves him. Oh, it's like.
Yeah, like, don't get me wrong. I understand you had to pay Jordan Love, and the way the NFL works is you had to give him top-tier money. Bro, he's a good quarterback. That's it. He's good.
We'll see.
He's not better than Dak.
We're moving on to week 8. They back home. They host the Colts.
They're beating the Colts again.
I agree. They are then short week. 3 straight primetime games here. Thursday night at the Jets.
This is a loss.
Give me the Jets. Yeah, I agree. Long week. Sunday night football. They host the Detroit Lions. I like the Texans here.
Back-to-back losses.
Then a little bit longer of a week, but now Monday night football at the Dallas Cowboys.
Loss again.
They beat the Cowboys.
They're getting a little humbled here.
Then they're back home. Yes, no bye week yet. They're back home against the Titans.
It's one team I wish I could have back. What did I do to the Titans?
I'm going to give them
the amount of ads. I have them at 8 and 9. They're probably better than that. I'm going to give the Titans the win here.
Okay, I'm going to give it to Houston at home.
That's 4 losses in a row. So they're in panic mode.
Then they're at the Jacksonville Jaguars.
Beating them. Sweeping them.
Give me the Jags to bounce back here. So they hit their bye week, week 14. Through 3 games, I have them 9 and 4.
Eight and 5.
Okay, now they hit their bye week, week 14. It's tough. It's a tough look for the Houston in their last 4. Come out of the bye. They're at home against the Miami Dolphins.
Win.
I'll give them the win off the bye. No.
What week is that?
No, I gave that as a loss to the Dolphins, so I'm going to keep it.
This is week 15, right? Yeah, I had them beating the Dolphins in this game.
Yeah, I gave the Dolphins a loss.
Yeah.
Then they followed up Saturday, December 21st at the Kansas City Chiefs. Loss. Then remember, they're part of the 4-teamer with the Steelers, Chiefs, Ravens. Week later, Christmas Day, Wednesday, they host the Baltimore Ravens. Remember, Baltimore beat the brakes off them to get them out of the playoffs.
Yeah, they're going to lose again there.
I think so. And then they finish January 5th at the Tennessee Titans.
Win.
That's going to be a cold game. I'm going to have them win it.
10 and 7.
I have them 11 and 6.
9.5.
9.5. 9.5. Division plus 105. Make playoffs minus 192. Miss plus 154. And Super Bowl plus 1,500.
It's a nice flyer bet for them. They got so many weapons. They could easily be a Super Bowl team.
Yeah, I think since he kind of has a little bit of the backing by like a lot of fans, the media, it's a good story what they did last year. With all the additions of weapons, I don't think it's necessarily a bad idea to maybe sprinkle some Stroud MVP money. CJ Stroud just has a massive statistical year. Maybe they go 12 and 5 or 13 and 4. They're like the 1 or 2 seed. So I don't think might be a pretty good play, actually.
Yeah. Yeah, I think that's a fair spot for them. Packers next, right?
Yes, it is. I just got to get to them here in my notebook. I'm a couple pages away here. Got it. What were they last year?
Packers were 9-8. Okay. They beat the Cowboys 48-32. But then they lost to the 49ers, and I forgot to write the score down, but they lost to the 49ers in the NFC title game. They had one Pro Bowler. This is a team that kind of came on late. They had to find themselves.
Yeah, we all remember Matt LaFleur, kind of him and Jordan Love not seeing eye to eye. There was some stuff at the podium, and then Jordan Love caught fire for an 8-game stretch where statistically the best quarterback in the NFL. I don't know if I'm saying he was that or people should be saying that. He just caught fire and was unbelievable for 8 games. And he's one of the biggest talking points this offseason because we want to see more. Was it just an 8-game hot stretch where the team was rolling, or can he carry that from year to year and become one of these top guys? With a great offensive mind, a head coach, or at least it seems. Go right into the ads here. Sorry for the yawning there, guys. Jeez.
We're boring the shit out of you.
Losses. Aaron Jones, John Runyon, Darnell Savage, Josh Neiman, Devondre Campbell, and Jonathan Owens. They do get Greg Joseph, safety, Xavier McKinney. Then they replace Aaron Jones with Josh Jacobs. Their draft picks: Jordan Morgan, tackle; Edgerrin Cooper, linebacker; Javon Bullard, safety; Marshawn Lloyd, running back; Tyron Hopper, linebacker; safety, center, safety, tackle, quarterback, cornerback. So I think their first 5 draft picks, all in the first 3 rounds, will all play. I think they'll all see pretty good time. They have an absolute workhorse at running back. Their receivers are 4 deep: Christian Watkins, Romeo Dobbs, Jaden Reed, Dontavion Wicks. But it's your classic, if there's no A, but you have 4 B, B- guys, can you make it work? They seem to. Year 2 tight end Luke Musgrave. Offensive line always works. Defense is full of top draft picks, but they never seem to be elite. They're always somewhere around like the 7th to 13th best defense, just pretty good. I'm interested in your thoughts.
Yeah, I think this is a good football team. I think what's getting lost is I think this is a very tough division, arguably the hardest in all of football. The Vikings are probably going to finish dead last now that they've lost JJ, and they're going to win 7 or 8 games. They're not going to be a joke. And the Vikings arguably have the best weapons in that division as far as offense goes. You have the Bears, who's starting, the next Patrick Mahomes, as some people like to call him, and they have weapons. And then the Lions, they've actually proved it. The Packers, they were an average team all year, snuck in the playoffs, and then put a beat down the Cowboys. They did go to, it was 21-24. Sorry, they did go toe-to-toe with the 49ers.
Yeah, late pick on the last drive.
Yeah, like they were there in that game. I do think the Packers are a good football team, but I don't think they're elevated to 12 wins. I think they're probably 8 to 9 wins again. Depends.
Yeah, I'm interested to see where I do it because unlike years past, I do have a lot more teams from like 7 to 10 wins or 7 to 11. It's not easy to win 12, 13 games or to win only 4 games. Like that has to be weird situations. It's difficult from week to week. So, I mean, I know a lot of people push back, but Jair Alexander, Eric Stokes, rookie Javon Bullard, safety Xavier McKinney, who they just got. I think that's a tremendous secondary. Rashawn Gary, Quay Walker play very well. Preston Smith, Kenny Clark in the middle of that defensive line. Again, I think they have all the pieces to go do it. And if Jordan Love can play like he did at the end of last season, this team's a very tough out because Matt LaFleur and Jordan Love were clicking and their offense was really good.
Yeah, what's the stat? Every year, X amount of teams missed the playoffs that made it, and these.
It's half. It's like 6.8. So it's 7 of the 14 teams.
This is a strong candidate to miss the playoffs. That's just my opinion.
Yeah, I disagree, but guess what? I think I do now until we run through the schedule.
Yeah.
But that's all it is. Everyone's going to want to watch the Packers this year, and I say that because it's either two things. You want to see if Jordan Love's good, or you want to see him be bad. Like
Yeah.
you're at the bar, you're at work, you're at with your friends. Everyone's on one side or the other. I think he's going to be really good. But let's just start it off. First primetime game, Friday night football, under the lights in Brazil. Eagles, Packers.
Eagles win. Said it last week. Sticking to it.
Yeah, Eagles are really, really good at football. We come back to Green Bay where they host the Colts.
They're gonna beat the Colts.
I agree. Then they're at the Titans. I think the Titans play the Jets week 2.
Yeah, I like this as a loss. What did I have for the Titans?
I'm not sure.
Week 3, I had them losing. I'm gonna give the Titans the win. I like the Titans here.
Yeah.
Packers. It's a team that I absolutely despise the record that I gave them. That puts them at 9-8. I feel better. They're one. I think I'm going to hammer over 6.5. I think I might even adjust it to over 7.5 and then bet it.
It was with my free money and bet 365. My first bet was under 6.5 for the Vikings.
Titans.
Oh, that's my fault because the next game is Vikings. I got ahead of myself.
And now that the Vikings have Sam Darnold, yeah, I'll give them the win. Is this at Green Bay?
Yes.
I'm going to give them the win.
Yeah, so I have Green Bay undefeated on American soil. I have them 3-1 here. I think we disagree on the Titans game.
Yeah, I do.
Then Sunday, October 6th, they're at the Los Angeles Rams.
Loss.
That's a good game.
Yeah.
I'll go to the Rams.
I think, by the way, I have the Rams at 11-5. I think they're really freaking good.
I do too.
The more I think about them, they're really good.
Yeah, I think the Rams are really good too. This is where they're back home against the Arizona Cardinals.
Arizona Cardinals. I was semi higher on this team than a lot of other people. This is week 6. I actually gave the Cardinals the win here.
Yeah, no way I'm giving the Cardinals a win in Green Bay right now.
Yeah, I'm taking that away. I'm not sure what I was thinking there.
Just a quick look ahead though. The Packers, I believe, only have one easy game. The rest of the schedule, we're through 6 games. It's pretty tough. Remember, if you come in the top 2 in your division, it's always going to be tough. But here we are, back-to-back home spot. They host the Houston Texans. I gave Green Bay a win when we did the Texans. I'm going to keep it.
I gave the Texans a win. I'm going to keep it as well.
They then go to the Jacksonville Jaguars. And have them lose that one.
That's week 8. I have them winning. So listen to this. This is literally how I have them right now. Not intentionally. This is happening. Loss, win, loss, win, loss, win, loss, win.
It could continue. Week 9, they're home against the Detroit Lions. LOL. That's hilarious.
We haven't done the Lions yet, but I do think that this is a tough matchup for them no matter where the game's at. I'm going to take the Lions to win, which, gives them a loss.
Yeah, I like the Packers at home to get the W. They go into their bye week 10. So through 9 games, I have them 6-3. What do you have them?
I have them 4-5.
They hit their bye week 10. They come out of the bye week at Chicago.
Win.
Yeah, I want to give them a loss at Chicago, but out of the bye, Matt LaFleur, the offense, I like the Packers to get the W.
That is week 11, right?
Yes, sir. That's actually Caleb Williams' first divisional game.
I actually gave the Bears the win.
But we didn't know the Packers were coming off of a bye when you did that.
I didn't. You're right. I like the Packers to win there, and I'm going to give the Bears the loss. I might fix something else for them, but as of right now, that drops them to 8 and 9.
They are then home against the 49ers, rematch of the big playoff game.
This is a loss. I am very curious of where I give the Niners losses next week.
Yeah, I'm actually going to check.
It's so hard to pick against them to lose a game. They're going to lose. We acknowledge that. But
I just want to see where they play week 11, because this is week 12, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, home against Seattle. I don't think that's crazy. So, yeah, I'm going to have the 49ers win this one.
And now coming off the Niners loss, who they play now?
By the way, after the Niners, they start a stretch of 4 straight primetime games. Okay. They haven't had one since week 1. They now will have 4 in a row. The 49ers is at 4:25, but then it's short week after playing the Niners. Thursday night, they host the Miami Dolphins, November 28th. I think this is the 3rd game on Thanksgiving.
I put this as a win because of the time of the year where this game is being played. I like that for them.
Short week off the 49ers. Who did the Dolphins play week 12? Because this could even out. I know we're going back and forth here. Dolphins week 12 are home against New England. I'm going to give the Dolphins a win here on Thanksgiving. Loss for the Packers. Now they get a week's rest. Thursday night football, December 5th at the Detroit Lions.
Lions feel like they're going to sweep them. I think this is a loss.
I'm giving a loss because I'm having them split almost their whole division with just the Lions, I think, actually. And then long week, Sunday night football at the Seattle Seahawks.
I don't have my notes on the Seahawks.
Packers typically struggle to stop the run. They're up in Seattle, 2 good corners. I think they get after Jordan Love. I'm going to have the Packers lose again. I have the Packers losing 3 straight primetime games late in the year.
Yeah, the thing is I have them. They're 500 football team right now. They need this win. I'm going to give it to them. I don't know what Seattle is.
What do you have their record right now through 14 games?
Through 14 games, week 15. I had them at 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 wins, 7 losses.
We're both at 7-7 right now with 3 games to go. Now, it is Monday night football on ESPN, December 23rd. They host the New Orleans Saints.
They're going to win that game. This is the first time they've won 2 in a row for me.
They win. They follow it up with at the Minnesota Vikings. I think they win again.
Yeah, I think the Vikings, I don't know what to say about them at this point, but I do have them winning that.
And January 5th in Lambeau against the Caleb Williams Bears.
Loss.
I have it as a win because Caleb played in Oklahoma and USC. Now it's going to be negative 17 degrees, and he had an entire collegiate season, off season, the longest season of his life in the NFL. I think he could be running out of gas here.
I think it could be. The Bears have already missed the playoffs. The Packers are trying to make the playoffs.
They throw everything they got at him.
Caleb wants this to be his Super Bowl to end his rookie year.
I think if I now know that I have the Packers at 10-7 to finish the season, the Bears and Packers could be playing on January 5th in Lambeau to get into the playoffs. This could be flexed up to Sunday night football. Packers, Bears, the longest rivalry in the history of the NFL. Caleb Williams versus Jordan Love. Who's got the future of the division? Meanwhile, Lions are probably like 12-5. They're comfortably in 2 seed or something.
Yeah.
I think this is a potential massive, really fun January 5th game. And I'll be watching that game on a cruise. That'll be crazy.
I think I nailed them. Is there over under 8.5?
No.
9.5?
No.
7.5?
No, it's 9.5. I'm just.
Oh.
I thought you were gonna keep going up.
I wasn't going up. The schedule is too tough.
You had them at 9 wins?
Yeah.
I had them at 10. Win-loss is 9.5.
We're right there.
By the way, 10-7. It's not a bad season. That'll get you in the play. I think with 7 teams from each division, Your first goal is in the regular season to win 10 games. You have a shot. And then you worry about how did I do in my division? How did I do in conference? What are the tiebreakers? There's going to be one or two teams at 9 wins that potentially make it in. If you get to 10 wins, I don't think you can get to 10 wins and miss the playoffs with 7 teams on each side going.
Tough.
I just think if you're ever in the middle of your season, you're like, gosh, how are we doing? It's like, you just got to get to 10 wins. You can only lose 7 times in the season and make the playoffs.
Yeah. 10-win teams are not going to get left out often with 14 teams making it.
Right.
Time for the Bears?
No. It's time for the Bills. Yep.
The Bills.
Oh, Bill. Not like this.
Sorry about all the talk about the Bears. I misread that.
More excited to watch the Bears than the Bills this season.
I think the Bills are going to shock some people.
I mean, I love Josh Allen.
Bills last year were 11-6. They needed a late run in the season to not only get into the playoffs, they ended up stealing the division title away from the Dolphins. Made the playoffs, and at this point, they beat the Steelers in the first round, and then hosted at home their rival, the Kansas City Chiefs, and they lose 27-24. Heartbreaking fashion.
Always a great game when those two get together.
Always a great game. They had 3 Pro Bowlers last year, and this is a team that kind of blew it up. What'd they do?
Yeah, they didn't lose much. They just lost Stephon Diggs, Gabe Davis, Tre'Davious White, Jordan Poyer, Micah Parson, and Leonard Floyd. Just all guys who
Real quick, you did say Micah Parson.
Or Micah Hyde. I apologize. Both safeties, a corner. You could argue Trey White, though. I mean, he's been hurt for so many games. But a young deep threat, Gabe Davis, number 1 receiver, Diggs, and edge rusher, Leonard Floyd. They do add Curtis Samuel, Taylor Rapp, Mike Edwards, La'el Collins, tackle from the Cowboys. That's a big pickup to help Josh Allen. Matt Collins, and former number 2 overall pick, Mitch Trubisky. In the draft, they take wide receiver Keon. What? What? Do we have quarterback controversy?
You're selling Mitch Trubisky to the audience like they just added, like, oh shoot, what a steal.
Well, the man was traded up and drafted over Deshaun
Watson.
One of those guys.
Patrick
Mahomes, yes. But anyway, they take Keon Coleman, Florida State, superstar. Cole Bishop, safety from Utah. Dwayne Carter, monster D tackle from Duke. He's a really good player. Running back, center, linebacker, edge, tackle, corner, guard, kind of all over the place. And the rest of their picks through the 7th round. This team is, again, you can say they have holes here. Maybe they're weak here, but unanimously one of the 3 best quarterbacks in the league. Typically placed at number 2 or number 3. Leads them, and he's fantastic. What you got on the Bills?
Real quick, I just seen this update as we're talking here. I've been paying attention to the cuts. Nothing has really jumped out at me, but one player just now I just seen, Tim Patrick of the Broncos. Remember, obviously he was a good player, had those knee injuries.
Yeah.
I don't know if he's toast, but that's an interesting pickup if somebody does pick him up.
Yeah, Colin Cowherd just brought him up recently in one of his takes, and he said, seriously, if CeeDee Lamb does not play this year, which we now know he's going to, he's like, Tim Patrick, solid pro, the number 3 or 4 for the Broncos, would be the best receiver on the Cowboys. If CeeDee Lamb didn't play and he went there, he would be the best wide receiver. And I was like, maybe.
He's disrespecting Brandon Cooks, who was actually pretty good second half of last year.
Yeah, he is disrespecting Brandon Cooks. But back to the Bills.
Yeah, I don't have a ton to add on them, except for I'm going to show you how much I think Josh Allen's very good. Because I have no other reasons to say otherwise, though I am a big supporter of what I think Keon Coleman is. I think he is what Justin Jefferson was, and when the Vikings and the Bills made that trade, this is what I feel they're doing here. They didn't trade for Keon Coleman, but they traded away Stephon Diggs. They drafted Keon Coleman. I feel like this is like a massive insert dog from the get.
Yes, I like Keon Coleman. Curtis Samuel, who's a veteran, and Khalil Shakir, who, like, sure, his name, you're just like, oh, he's just a whatever. He did really well with Josh Allen. We all know about Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox, some like 2 tight end sets. Their offensive line is solid. Lyle Collins, Deion Dawkins. I know he might not play, but they do have Cedric Van Pran Granger. I feel like everybody should just read that name one time and try and say it out loud. I just worry about their defense. Matt Milano, gone for almost the whole year again with the pec injury. They lose both their safety leaders on defense in the secondary. I just worry that Josh Allen, hey, play smarter, don't always put on the cape. It's like, well, now what 24 points was to Josh Allen is going to need to be 30. Like, I feel like they're going to allow about 5 to 8 more points a game with the losses that they've had on defense. Leonard Floyd, edge rusher. Matt Milano, middle linebacker. Tremaine Edmonds a year or two ago. They lost Rasul Douglas a year or two ago. Tre'Davious White's now gone. Both Poyer and Micah Hyde are gone. It's like, man, they just keep losing pieces on defense, and it's like, I still think their offense is going to be great. They're going to be fantasy numbers. Josh Allen's a dog, but, like, I think it will reflect negatively in their overall win-loss, because even some of the games where it's like, all right, we're going up against a really good offense, there's going to be a shootout. It's like Josh Allen occasionally will have a 2 to 3 pick game, but he also in some games will have 6 total touchdowns and just win it himself. So it's interesting. They're very dependent on one player, but he fits the Superman suit.
If he tore his ACL week 1, I would be hard-pressed to find a W.
If Josh Allen was not playing the entire season, terminally ill, massive injury, whatever happens, this team might be 3 to 4 wins. That's
at best.
Yeah, but Josh Allen's just that good, and I don't think many people listening are disagreeing with that.
No. Who they got week 1?
Tough game right out of the gate, but they're going to host the Arizona Cardinals and slaughter them.
I should have the Cardinals winning that game.
That was a joke?
Not a joke. Matter of fact, do you remember at the first pod we did, I actually wrote this down as my 2024 locks that the Cardinals beat the Bills week 1.
Hey, kudos to you. Kudos to you. 10 days. 10 days the season starts. All right. They follow up a loss to the Cardinals. Short week. They go down to Florida on Thursday Night Football and open up prime with Kirk Herbstreit and Al Michaels against the Miami Dolphins. They can lose that one.
I don't know how they're beating the Dolphins in week 2. I'm going to give the Dolphins the win.
Holy
I think I did.
Okay. All right. Huh.
Yeah, I gave the Dolphins the week 2 win.
Monday Night Football. They host the Jaguars.
Oh, week 3, Jags lose to the Bills.
By the way, okay, never mind. I was reading that wrong. All right, their next 3 games: Sunday Night Football, Sunday at 1, Monday Night Football. All on the road. Ravens, Texans, Jets. They're losing all 3 of those games.
Stop. Slow it down. What's the first one?
Sunday Night Football at the Ravens.
Loss.
They then follow that up by going down to the Texans.
I have the Bills winning that game. It's a week 5 victory.
Sure.
I had the Texans starting 4-0 and then getting humbled, remember?
Yeah, I get it, and that's what I'm saying. I don't think it's crazy, but you almost never, ever, I don't have the statistic, win the 3rd straight road game, and it's at the Jets Monday night, I like the Jets to win here too. I have them going 0-3 in that stretch.
They're 2-4, and Nick Wright's going ballistic.
I have them at 2-4 as well. You gave them that Cardinals win. It's okay, but that's where we're different here. Then Sunday at 1, they host the Titans. Give them a win here.
Hang on here. What week is this? 7?
Yeah.
I have them beating the Titans.
Then they go across country, 4:05 at the Seattle Seahawks.
That's a win.
The run game and corners, I like the Seahawks. They're then home against the Dolphins. Win.
3 wins in a row.
They're then at the Indianapolis Colts.
Win.
I have
4
them
wins in a row.
Okay, I have them 5-5 through 10. Where are you at?
6-4.
They then host the Chiefs.
They always beat the Chiefs in the regular season, but I don't think this is the team. Loss.
I agree with the loss there. Now they have a Week 12 bye, so I have them 5-6.
Six and 5.
They come out of their bye week and host the 49ers.
I'm going to give them the win. Coming off a bye week, already losing to the Chiefs, this does feel like a Bills do whatever they can. Kitchen sink game. They win.
So I think the 49ers would crush them in a neutral game. But the 49ers were at the Green Bay Packers while the Bills were on a bye. Then they go from the Packers to the Bills, probably don't go back home. Go straight to the Bills, hotel for 2 weeks, Bills off of a bye. Josh Allen Cape game. I'm going to go, I'll give the Bills the win. I did not think I would. Do teams win after they play the 49ers, though?
They lose.
At the Rams.
What week is that?
14.
I have the Rams winning that.
By the way, that Bills-Niners is Sunday Night Football.
Of course it is.
December 1st.
Of course it is.
No. We're going to make a statement here. 49ers beat the Bills. I'm changing it. They beat the Bills. They're better. Bills come out of the bye. They lose the Niners, lose at the Rams, and then they're at the Lions. They're going to lose that one too.
You mean to tell me they have Chiefs, Niners,
Rams, Lions.
That is the hardest 4-game stretch in the whole league.
Okay,
harder.
There's a bye week sandwiched in there, though.
I know. There is no 4 harder games. It does not exist. That's tough.
They end the season, Patriots.
So bye week, Niners.
At Rams.
At Rams.
Then at Lions.
Beating the Lions. They're going to go 2-2 in that.
They then go Patriots, Jets, Patriots. Only the last game is on the road.
I like them to go 3-0 in that.
I'll give them.
And they're going to end 4 in a row.
I might bet Bills under.
Wow, I got them at 11-6.
I have them at 8-9. That's a really, really, really difficult schedule for a division winner that has a. I think they're going to have a straight up weak defense. They have a 4-game stretch early in the year. Dolphins, Jaguars, Ravens, Texans, Jets. So that's a 5-game stretch. Then later, if you want to say you believe in the Colts a little bit, and since it's a road game, they have 3 games: Dolphins, Colts, Chiefs, bye, 49ers, Rams, Lions. And 3 of those games are on the road. That's a lot of tough stretches of games.
Is there over under 9.5 or 10.5?
It's 10.5. I think I'm taking the under.
I mean, I don't think that's a bad bet.
They had 2 guys just like us in there. They said, "Hey Brad, what are the Bills realistically?" I think this team's 8-9. All right, we'll do maybe 8.5 or 9. Hey, who's their quarterback, Jeff? Josh Allen is their quarterback. All right, bump it up to. We'll go from 8.5 to 10.5.
What they did.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
They're Josh Allen sprained ankle away from him, a three tutty underdog. Mitch Trubisky's coming in with this team. They're calling Ryan Tannehill if Josh Allen gets hurt.
I mean, I hate to be this guy. If Josh Allen were to get hurt early on, this is a contender for the number 1 pick.
Yeah.
I don't think I'm being very harsh. I think they have some pieces.
I think this is really easy. Their best wide receiver would be a rookie. Their defense lost all their veteran pieces. If you have the Bills, this is anyone out there, if you have the Bills going over their win total of 10.5, you should put $20 on Josh Allen MVP. He hasn't won one yet. If this team wins 11 or 12 games with Josh Allen, he's got 50 total touchdowns.
Oh, he would be insane.
I would put, if you think the over can hit, you also bet Josh Allen to win MVP.
You've heard me say this in the past, and I've let it go because the evidence isn't there. There's times where I think Josh is the best quarterback in football. The evidence isn't there. It's depleted. Patrick beat him too much. If he was literally the number 1 seed in the AFC next year, got 12 wins, 13 wins, he'd be the best quarterback in football. I mean, he doesn't have anything name variety on his team, and he has a defensive coach. In this schedule, dragging this team, it'd be insane.
Here's where I struggle with the team. This is my kind of last synopsis here, but it would also point to the MVP because this is also who he would beat to get there, but this is also why I don't think he'll get there. Kyler Murray, Tua, Trevor Lawrence, Lamar Jackson, C.J. Stroud, Aaron Rodgers, Tua, Patrick Mahomes, Brock Purdy in the Niners, Matt Stafford, Goff, and then Aaron Rodgers again. That secondary plays those quarterbacks in 10 of the 17 games. That's going to be a lot to ask of this back end, especially with the receivers that are paired with those quarterbacks.
Yeah.
I think the Bills could be a team that, and honestly, it was Josh Allen the last 6 weeks last year that got him to the playoffs, and partially, too, a Dolphins collapse late in the season. Their collapse was almost worse than the Eagles. They just started better enough to where they still made the playoffs, so it didn't seem as bad. But they lost just like their late year collapse was really bad too.
Yeah, I think it'll be interesting. I think we'll find out what the Bills are pretty early on in the first month, and we'll see if they can take on the schedule. If they're struggling out of the gate, it's going to be a hard season.
I can already hear it, Brad. You have the Steelers having 2 more wins than the Bills. Are you an idiot? And it's like, maybe not the Steelers, but some of these other teams, it's just the schedule is so hard. And it's not I love Josh Allen. There ain't much else I love about the team. O-line solid. I like their running back. We'll see if the rookie works out. I think their secondary is bad. I think their linebackers are average. They lost Floyd and Milano. Pass rush isn't great. Like, I don't love Sean McDermott as a coach. I just think that Josh Allen is a Superman. But there's so much about this team that I think is average or to below average. And I didn't think I'd get anything and just hate on the Bills, but that's why you do these deep dives. Is like you start looking at the stuff and you're like, the Bills can't lose that game, can they? But like, yeah, they can. Unless Cedric Van Pran Granger starts playing, then starts moving bodies, getting to that second level.
Yeah. Anything else?
No.
Bucks, Texans, Packers, Bills. Another 4 teams down. Next week we get to your conference championship game contenders. So you got Ravens, Chiefs, Lions, 49ers, the best 4 teams in all football. That'll be a fun bond.
Yes, it will.
Lots of W's. Lots of W's.
Yep. Technical difficulties. Sorry to get Team Preview 6 up late. We'll have 7 and 6 pretty much out at the same time for you guys to listen to. And we'll have Team Preview 8 with the final 4 teams Jeff said. And hopefully we'll have the time in our schedules to get you guys a award predictions. We like to do that. Maybe one last mailbag combined with awards predictions and kick this season off right. Go Steelers and hook them. Let's get a double championship here. We'll see, but
yeah, I think next week if we can find time, we got to do 4 more teams, and then I'd like to get a award prediction show, our bold predictions for the season, who's leading in stats, and I'd love to go in on Michigan, Texas too in a pod. So, well,
Fresno State and Colorado State this Saturday.
Yep. We should both be looking at 1-0 heading into a massive game on Big Noon. Can't wait. And we'll talk more about that next week. And anything else?
Nope. Have a good one, guys. Got to go pick up my my suit after this. Shout out Steven Sutton wedding this Saturday. It's gonna be a blast.
That's
and
awesome.
Kara, Steven and Kara.
Thanks for the support. Like, listen, subscribe, hit the bell, tell your friends, share the pod, share it again, share it on all social media. We'll see you guys next time. We're out.
Peace.